If you are in need of a no-fail sourdough bread recipe that always yields perfect results, this is that recipe. It's not my recipe, it's Teresa's. She's linked. But we fed Jane about 2 hours ago, maybe 3 hours ago. She has peaked, she has risen. She has not fallen down. I've just shaken her, trying to show you what she looks like inside the jar. She looks perfect, she's peaked, she's bubbly, she's active, she's everything you want in a sourdough starter. I have a bowl and a scale and some flour. This is bread flour. I probably will run out of bread flour, but it's okay. This recipe's pretty forgiving. I've used it with all-purpose flour before. It works a charm. No big deal. You're going to start by zeroing out your scale, which means you put your bowl on top of your scale and then make it go to 0. So now we are no longer considering how much the bowl weighs. We don't care about how much the bowl weighs. We want to know what goes into the bowl and how much that weighs. You need 220 grams of active sourdough starter. So I'm just going to pour this in until my scale reads 220 grams. That was way more than 220 grams. We need to scoop out like a lot. That's 390 grams. 230 looks great. Now, here's the deal with sourdough. It's not an exact science like everyone tells you it is. I promise it's not, because if it was, I wouldn't be able to do it. As long as you're in the ballpark, you're fine. Don't panic. And honestly, I think the more willy-nilly you are about it, the better of a loaf you're gonna have, because it can sense when you're stressed. I swear to God it can. I mean, sourdough starter is actually a living being after all, so it makes sense that it can sense your stress. So we have 230 grams of active sourdough starter. So I'm going to zero my scale out again, 665 grams of warm water. Mine is filtered, yours doesn't really have to be, but I like it to be warm because I live in a cool climate. 680, that's fine. It's fine, we have more starter, we have a little more water, no big deal. And now we will zero our scale out again before we add our flour. 975 grams of bread flour. That's 480, now I'm out, it's okay, I have a Walmart order coming with more bread flour. So we're just gonna use this flour, which was up in the top of my cabinet from I don't know how long ago, and I'm not sure if it is actually bread flour or not. It says bread flour, but it's very likely that I just put regular flour in this container. 991. See, we have a little more flour, we have a little more starter, we have a little more water. All is right with the world. It's not a big deal. I'm going to take it off my scale so that I don't wreck my scale, even though it's not that great of a scale anyways. And now I'm going to whisk it together. With this bread whisk, I don't know if this is actually necessary, but everybody uses one. It came in like a sourdough kit that I got. When you get to this point where your dough is like super shaggy, you're going to take a wet hand and remove all of this off of the bread whisk. It comes off a lot easier if your hand's wet. Plus, it doesn't really stick to you as much. And now I will take a bowl scraper and kind of scrape everything down to, first of all, clean my bowl a little bit, because I do find if your bowl is cleaner, you have better results. And I don't really like my hands getting gross and dirty. Sue me. Last time I wiped my bowl down, and I do think that helped as well. You don't have to do this, but I see everybody else having super clean bowls, and I'm wondering, how do they do it? Everybody said they use a bowl scraper. I think they also wipe their bowl down or switch their bowl for the people who I'm thinking of, because their bowls look pristine. Do you think doing this helps it not stick to the bowl when you go to turn it out at the end? So I'm going to pop a lid on, but I'm not going to like actually clamp the lid on. I'm going to set her to the side, preferably in a warm area. I don't have anywhere warm in my house, and I'm not setting up her warming hut just for a loaf of bread, 2 loaves of bread, but you know what I mean. And we'll be back in 30 minutes to begin stretching and folding. And we will stretch and fold her 4 times over the course of the next 2 hours. Every 30-ish minutes, we'll stretch and fold. But I'm bringing you with me, so just buckle up. We're doing this together. It's our baking day.